after Arsenal show, who would have thought that Eberechi Eze, an Arsenal former academy guy, would then turn down Tottenham to join Arsenal? Kind of sounds like it was destined, right? It all worked out, right? Dan, how you feeling?
Beautiful. Oh, it's been a beautiful 24 hours, bro. It really has. It's been a strange 24 hours because it didn't start too well, but we're going to get into it. And we're going to get into reasons why. Big up for having me on, bro. Big up to you for coming on the show for the last couple of nights as well and holding your own. And do you know what was with you? What was the best was? It was literally a full 360, yeah? Because the first night it was like, you said Eze was coming and, you made that clip with Staffy. And then it's like, I'm going to play it again then now because I can play it again and you come out on a good thing. So it just shows sometimes how quickly football can change and how quickly emotions can change. And I think that we as fans, right, and I'm definitely guilty of this, and I think you probably are the other side as well, is you can overdo the happiness, you can overdo the sadness, and you just know that you've got to try to remain as balanced as you can because football can be a funny game, man. It can change really quickly, bro.
110%. I feel like it changes on a dime all the time. But before we go any further, we're going to talk about the Eze topic, but I just want to talk to you about something. I'm always calling you saying, Dan, it's not that serious. Calm down. Dan, we don't have to stress out. Dan, it's not the end of the world. Dan, we're going to figure it out. Calm down. It's not. I'm always the guy who's telling you it's not as bad as things seem, right? And if I'm not mistaken, I swear I called you after the Eze news a couple days ago. Did I not?
Yeah.
And I was like, we're going to figure something out. The window's not over. We're going to make sales. We're going to find a way. And even if it means we maybe go for Rodrigo or if we go for somebody else, we'll figure it out. It's just, I do not believe that the window is over. And I don't think Kai Havertz's injury was the only catalyst that led to this transfer. This transfer was in the work for a long time, Dan. Me and you both know this.
Facts. I was texted by Albert. Big up to Albert. He was on with us last night. He said to me that he's seen a Telegraph post that said that we had this plan since the 10th of August. And this was always in the pipeline. And it was not a reaction to Havertz getting injured, which makes sense, right? Because Kai Havertz doesn't play in the same position as Eze. I know that Lee was trying to say that last night. I disagree with that. I think Kai Havertz is a backup 9. And I think that Eze will play in the 10, 8 or the left wing. I think that he's a guy that can play in a number of positions. So I don't see there could be comparisons between the two. I personally feel like the Havertz injury, that's now going to be potentially a question mark of if we do something further. Eze, for me, was always going to be happening because if you've planned this since the 9th, 10th of August, then that's got nothing to do with injuries. That's all about trying to improve your squad. And I said, right, Mr. Iguano, I'll sort that out if that's the case, bro. But look, I'm in a situation where I believe that Eze has always wanted Arsenal. Like, I don't ever think that there would be a scenario where he rejected Arsenal for Spurs. And I know Spurs were getting cocky about it, saying that was the case. You cannot tell me that if Arsenal and Spurs are going in for a player and he picks Spurs, that he's rejected Arsenal. It's clearly that Arsenal weren't interested or have pulled out of the deal. So when it looked like he was going Tottenham, I was frustrated because I just assumed it was we've pulled out of the deal. It doesn't look like that was the case. It looks like both clubs are interested in him. We kept it a hell of a lot quiet. Levy was dilly-dallying and Berta swooped in and we've got our guy, man. So I'm buzzing, bro. I'm buzzing.
Shout out Martin. He was one of the first people.
100%. Marty. Big up to Marty, man, because Marty deserves an apology.
Marty. He was one of the first people who said it on AFTV. He said, I've heard. And then he said, I've heard he wants to go to, where is it? He's pushing, and Arsenal, of course, are going to go in, and it's going to be basically a couple of people told him this, and he's like, he knows a couple of people that work at clubs, and one of the people he knows at a club is, of course, Crystal Palace. So reports that Marty was saying this is going to get done a long time ago, and it just makes this so much better. And everything about this whole transfer window has been Arsenal don't seem like they know what they're doing. Arsenal don't seem like they know what they're doing with Gyökeres. They get it done. Arsenal don't seem like they know what they're doing with because they signed Madueke. We now get Eze. Dan, I'm just going to simply put this in the nicest way possible to everyone. Should we now kind of keep our powder dry and not get over mad? Because I seen people saying just a couple of days ago that Saliba and Saka shouldn't sign new contracts because this club is a joke because they gave Trossard a new deal.
Look, I tell you what we should do. It's something that's very hard to do, right? It's something that's very, very difficult to do. And that's allow for the window to shut. before you start to lose your head. I think that's what we need to do. And I think, I'm honest with you, I think that's what we've always needed to do, right? I've been guilty of going too early on that, not just in this window, but in previous windows. I think what happens, Egal, right? This is serious. This is me trying to talk seriously with a level head here. I think people go on past experiences, and there's so much PTSD of the past with the older regimes, with the Edus, with Raul Sanlehis, with Hus Farmis, with Arsene Wenger days, Gazidis days. I think that we've been treated like crap as a fan base over the last 2 decades. I truly believe that. I think we've been the most patient fans in the Premier League. And I think it's time to ask for it now. I think it's time to deliver now. And when I don't see the ambition of the club matching what I want, I think that's where the frustration lies. So, for example, when we go through to January and we're still in all competitions, we're looking like we're in a semi-final of the Champions League and the Carabao Cup, and we're going to play Marino up top. I get angry because that's not showing the ambition to go and get over the line what we need. So I think what we need to do is potentially calm down a little bit. Maybe we are a little bit over the top with it and head loss in certain reactions. I think to say now this window is a disgrace and it's disgusting and rah might be a little bit over the top, because one, it's not over yet, and two, we have brought in Zubamendi and Gyökeres and Eze now. So I don't think it's a disgrace. I don't think it's a shambles. You know, like, I love Lee, and most of the time me and Lee are reliant, but the window isn't a 5 out of 10. Like, I love Lee, but it's not a 5 out of 10 now. You know, Eze coming in, I understand there needs to be more done. I understand the players need to be sold, and I understand that potentially we're lacking in 1 or 2 positions still that people might look at. But right now, you can't give it lower than a 7 out of 10 when you're bringing in Eze, Gyökeres, and Zubamendi to your first team. Like that, they are all going to start. Like Zubamendi for me is going to start every game. Gyökeres is our striker, and at the moment, I think Eze is probably going to be our left winger. Although people say he's not really great there, I think he's better than what we've got there. If I'm honest, I don't think he is the left winger in the next 5 years, but I certainly do see him as our number 10, attacking 8 or left winger option that we're going to come in and give us something different. So yeah, I think sometimes fans do go over the top, but we're emotional, bro. I think some fans might be the other way now. You might look at the fan base now, right? I'll give you 2 examples. Some of the fans will be going, well, that still ain't enough. We ain't going to win nothing. It's all for windows.
No, I don't think anyone's saying that.
Okay, but there will be some, like Lee, maybe, and a couple of others. There'll also be others that are like, well, Arsenal are going to go do the treble now because you've signed Eze. Both of them are like, whoa, they're like extreme.
I don't think,
you know what I mean?
okay, I hear that. But I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to now say Arsenal signed Eze. They now have that left-hand side sorted.
That's cool.
You could say maybe he doesn't play in the left. Maybe he plays left 10. Maybe he plays, maybe he plays in the central midfield. Maybe he plays as a left winger. Wherever he plays, he solves our issues in the transition with the ineffectiveness that we have in transition, the inability to drive with the ball when we have the ball in transition, the inability to find holes from the left-hand side, inability to find the striker that we just recently signed in Gyökeres. Dan, systematically, this solves so many problems for us. And the Eze deal is, I think this is the biggest transfer we have done since Ozil. Not based on the player quality and the name of the player or the signing. You could say Aubameyang was a big signing, but to take this man from Spurs' hand last minute and to turn it around the way that we have and to get the deal done, Premier League proven, walking into the building immediately one of the best in the league outside of the top 6. When it comes to sheer excitement and like just the dopamine, every Arsenal fan today I know was smiling ear to ear at work, walking down the street, going taking the bus. You're stuck in traffic, you're still smiling because you know Eberechi Eze is going to be an Arsenal player. And I think people think I'm joking when I say this. I genuinely was smiling ear to ear all day.
Same,
and you probably were too.
How can we not be? We're Arsenal fans, bro. How can we not be smiling day to day?
This is the kind of signing that makes Saka, Saliba say, I'm signing the deal today. Get it sorted. I'm signing the deal today.
The only thing I would say that I disagree with, or I'll agree with everything you've said in terms of how happy people are and smiling. I think for me, Rodrigo would be the Ozil Sanchez signing. I think Eze is an extremely good signing. I think I can't compare it to one previously. I think it's close to being that good. I think he's exceptional talent. I wanted him. He was the one that I did want. A lot of people know I was devastated when it looked like he was going to Tottenham, right? So I do want that. What I won't deny is that this is improved and allow people around them to go, right, this is serious. And I think people have also underappreciated how much he's going to fit in. Like, I know, okay, there's a couple of things, right? How well he's going to fit in. He knows Rice, he knows Saka, he knows White, he knows
Saka
these guys, right?
Friends.
Saka and him are very close, right? From what I believe, Madueke is close with him as well. I think also what it does on Madueke is it proves, certainly to me, anyway, I don't know if everyone else agrees with this. It proves that Madueke was not being brought in as the starter. Madueke was being brought in as the squad player. People have overlooked that. They're not speaking about that now because
Bro,
maybe
you did that. You yourself have
I
been
thought this
quite
was
upset
it.
about that.
Very, because I thought, and I know you were upset with the Madueke signing, but you weren't as far as me. But the reason I was, bro, is because I thought he was a replacement and a player brought in instead of an Eze or a Rodrigo or wherever it be. So I was like, I can't have this guy starting left wing. Luckily for me, it looks like he's a squad player. Like with me, I never bothered about the money. The money wasn't an issue to me. I'm not an accountant. I don't care how much we spend on players. What I do care is if that money has been spent incorrectly. So there's a difference, right? If, for example, Gyökeres, I wanted Gyökeres. I wouldn't have cared if we would have spent 90 million on Gyökeres. So I think that's the guy, right? What I do care about is like, we've only really got 50 million for one of these players. It's going to be Eze, Madueke or Kudus. And we've got Madueke over those three. I'm like, no, that ain't good for me. Now it's not that. I'm calm. It's good because it's better than Nelson and Sterling. Madueke is, in my opinion, anyway.
Hey,
That's good
do
thing, man.
you remember the video we did with Troops a couple months ago? And I said we need 3 level raisers, and Lee was like, level raisers. You're not getting level raisers. I'm like, I think we now can say comfortably we've gotten 3 level raisers in Eze, Gyökeres, and Zubimendi.
Yeah, I need to see more of Zubimendi, but I like what I've seen. Eze and Gyökeres, no doubt. Rodrigo is the dream for me, though. That is the absolute dream. I don't know if we're going to touch on that later, but that's the marquee one for me. Because I know you said Eze and Ozil. For me, I would look at Rodrigo and I would go, wow, this is scary. Like, no excuses, Arsenal. Trophies galore now. That's the one for me.
Hypothetically, we need to get sales, though, because we've done all these businesses up until this point. We would need to sell some players. Martinelli being linked to Saudi can't be true. I don't believe Saudi Arabian club would come in for Martinelli for the price of 80 million. It's just illogical. I think Indicala is pulling our leg here when he posts stuff like that.
How reliable is he?
He's not that reliable.
Okay.
From what I know, he does spread a lot of lies just to get traction.
Because I see 2 tweets from him yesterday that were one after another of a period of a couple of hours. One of them said that the Rodrigo agent is flying to London to speak to Liverpool and Arsenal. And then a few hours later, Martinelli was linked to a Saudi for 80 million, the same source. So I was like, is there something in that? I don't know.
Do you really believe Rodrigo is still a possibility?
Yes, because he's not wanted by Real Madrid, clearly. Whether he wants to stay or not, Real Madrid don't rate him. They're not playing him. So as much as I think Rodrigo is a possibility for Arsenal, I also think he's a possibility for Man City and Liverpool as well. So I think it's going to depend on where he wants to go. And I know where you're at with this, and I know you disagree with me. If I'm Rodrigo and I'm not an Arsenal fan, I'm looking at where I'm likely to win trophies. I'm going to go to Man City or Liverpool ahead of Arsenal just because the evidence is there that they can get across the line. But I'd love for us to sell him the dream, and I'd love for Berta to say, come here and be the missing piece that we need to win us trophies.
I spoke to my boy Kiko, and he was telling me, act like a serious club. Big clubs will go and get Rodrigo. That would be serious, and it would show cojones. Right, it would be the right move. A club coming in for him where he would go straight into his preferred position, and of course, you also have to put the money on the table. So it's unlikely. I think Arsenal will actually put the money on the table. I think it would be a loan. Who's the best fit for Rodrigo right now? I think it's actually Liverpool. As for Manchester City, I don't think Man City will actually get him unless they sell Savio to Spurs. So if Savio goes to Spurs, if Eze coming to Arsenal means Savio goes to Spurs and Rodrigo goes to Manchester City, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't mind Rodrigo going to Man City because I feel like that's the lesser of the evils than him going to Liverpool. If he was to join this Liverpool team right now, I think that would be more dangerous because Liverpool could potentially have a front 3 of Isak, Rodrigo, and Salah, where Rodrigo going into that City front 3, however it is, it's not as scary as the possibility of what Liverpool could have had.
Look, I think Arsenal should do all they can to bring in a player of the ilk of Rodrigo. So when I look at it right now, Manchester City have made good signings. I think Ryan Cherky's a good player. I think Reinders is ridiculously good. And I think Ait Nouri, I'm not sure defensively, but certainly is a very good player going forward, right? And they're looking at more. Liverpool, we all know the signings they've made. Florian Wirtz, I know he's had a bad start, but so's Gyökeres. You know what I mean? I haven't heard as much hate on sort of Wirtz as I had Gyökeres. However, we know Florian Wirtz is a baller, okay? If they sign Isak as well, it's been incredible alongside Ekatike and the two fullbacks, etc. they've got in. Gehi as well. Arsenal, a lot of people are saying good window, not world class, but could get there. Rodrigo and Eze would make the rivals of City, Liverpool, and whoever else wants to be in this conversation step back and go, shit, that's a seriously good window.
No, but
That's
Dan, we're
what I now
doing
need to
this
see.
again. We're doing this thing where once we get something, we want more. And I get that. But at this moment in time, Eberechi Eze coming in, I think is something that teams look at the Arsenal's potential 11, and I'll put it on the screen right now, and they say to themselves, this is one of the best 11s in the league. But let's quickly go to this comment. Shout out to you, Farhan Farah, one of my Somali brothers, I think, right there with
Big up,
that
bro.
name. Definitely one of my Somali brothers right there. He says, we have to sell before we buy. That was super BS, and I still believe we can spend more money before we sell. Talk as we have over 300 million to spend.
I agree.
Kieran Maguire said it to FK. Arsenal have more than
Everybody has
enough
been saying
headroom.
it. Arsenal don't have to worry about PSR FFP. That's what I keep being told.
The only thing we have to worry about is we're close on the European side, the UEFA rulings. We're close on that side, but that has more to do with wages. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and leave a comment down below what you thought of that video you just watched.